Hello, ladies.
Hello, let me rename myself here.
Hi.
Hi.
It's not letting me start my video. Is that intentional or do I need to hit reset on something?
You should be able to do your video. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why it's not letting you. What is it? What error is it giving you?
It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Yeah,
What the?
mine says the same.
Oh, Lord, hold on. Let me see if I can make you co-host and see if that works. I've never done webinar before, so see if that works. That works. Ah. Yeah. All right, so we are in webinar mode, and so we are being recorded, and we already have attendees. This is my first time doing the webinar mode, y'all, so I'm not sure what is going on, what's happening. So we are going to give it a couple minutes. I think our attendees can see us and hear us, and so we are going to get started. I love the branding. I check y'all out. Let me see.
So I've actually been on the opposite side of attending the webinar where everything is like disabled and you watch. You can pop in like Q&A, but that is it. It is very limited on ability to do anything. So yeah, for the most part, it's pretty simple. Just have to keep eye on the chat or the question and answer.
Yeah, that's the. I wanted it to be very interactive, but I knew with webinar it allows all of us to be up here, and the regular Zoom doesn't give us that option. So Score has one of the advanced Zooms, and so it kind of reminds me of Oprah Zoom. It lets you do all kind of stuff that my little pockets don't allow with my Zoom, and so it's interesting with seeing all these different features that it have on the other side of it that I don't have access to. So I did do a couple polls. I don't know. Oh, I got to launch them. So that's pretty cool. So I did do 2 polls at least. You guys are co-hosts. So if you would like to add a question, I think you have the option to do that. So that'll be very interesting. We got about 60 seconds and we are going to go ahead and get this baby started. Let me see if our other panelists have joined. Not yet, but we do have attendees. So welcome attendees, if you guys can hear us. We are super, super, super excited about this roundtable. It is the first roundtable that my chapter has done, and so I'm super excited about this. And I think we're going to keep this roundtable thing going because we got so much interaction online. So let's see. Did y'all add some questions in the poll? Are y'all working on some questions?
I am not finding the capability to create a poll question.
You see it at the bottom?
No, I do see it. I clicked on it, but there's no way that I can add a question. So I can view the questions that you created, but I don't have an option where I can actually create a poll, like a poll question myself.
Oh, okay. Do you see the plus sign at the top right? Oh, okay.
No.
Maybe only me. Darn. Okay.
That's okay. I'm going to send you my question in the chat.
Awesome. Look at you being so smart. All right. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. One thing about me, I like starting on time. I normally give a 5-minute grace period, but today's conversation is going to be super, super, super interesting. And so we are going to get the party started early. And so for everybody who do not know, I am Latasha Brooks. I am the workshop coordinator at Central Virginia SCORE. I am putting together the workshops for the remaining of the year. I've been doing it for over a year for my chapter now. I love this role. I absolutely love SCORE. SCORE is by far one of the best resources that the SBA partners with. It is the oldest resource that the SBA partners with. And so you have a lot of experience retired executives that come together to mentor and coach small business owners just like yourself. And so if you do not have a mentor, the craziest thing, if you do not have anybody to talk to in business, if you are not working with anybody with business development, please utilize your free, F-R-E-E, free resource score, okay? There is a score in every state. There's a chapter everywhere. And due to the pandemic, you can now take classes different places, and you can now work with whoever you want. And so we really do hope, as a small business owner to a small business owner, that you guys are taking full advantage of your free resources, okay? And so let's go ahead and get this thing started. Now that you guys know who I am going to be the moderator today. I'm super excited about this strong panel, okay? Strong panel. I am going to go ahead and let Coach Arnisha introduce herself, and then Danielle is going to introduce herself. They have to do a 60-second pitch. So I am putting them on the spot to do a 60-second pitch. So if you don't have your 60-second pitch together, I hope these ladies are going to give you an example of what a 60-second pitch look like. Coach Arnisha Johnson, you are up first.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Arnisha T. Johnson, and I am the owner, the lead strategist, and award-winning grant writer of Manifesting on More, where we help prepare businesses and organizations to become eligible for funding that yields longevity and success. I started my business in the midst of having a baby and realized that the 9-to-5 world did not cater to being a mother. And so I pivoted, I transitioned, and I quit my job and started my own company, and it led me here. So I'm super excited to be here with you guys and to help you navigate through the digital era with grants and funding.
Good job. Good job. All right, Ms. Danielle, you are up next.
I don't know if I can follow that. Awesome job. Hey, everybody. My name is Danielle Bryant. I am a retired nurse and now a full-time entrepreneur. I'm the CEO of Multiple Stream Solutions. Essentially, what I do is I help provide affordable housing to healthcare professionals and business travel professionals. And now I coach and mentor other healthcare professionals that want to get started in the industry. To date, I've helped about 300 people to start a business and an additional stream of income in their households.
Now, wait a minute, y'all. One thing that I absolutely love, didn't catch this, I'm going to point it out. Literally, they said numbers. How many people she has helped. You know, it is very important when you are introducing yourself that you throw out your stats, because at the end of the day, that is what's going to make you stand out from other people. And so she threw that out there. To this day, I have helped, blah, blah. That makes her different already. You know, so welcome, ladies, and thank you for saying yes to being a panelist. Yes, they were asked to be a panelist today, which automatically lets you know that they stand out from other people. It is a big opportunity to sit on a SCORE platform and to share your resources, your story, your journey. How many entrepreneurs? So let's start off with these polls. Okay, let me see which one this one is. Okay, first of all, I'm gonna ask the ladies this, but I got a poll that done stuck out there to y'all already. It says, how is business going? Danielle, we're gonna start with you first. Would you say business is great, not so great? You are learning, you are pivoting. How is business going?
I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to be transparent. I love to be transparent. I am pivoting because I know I'm not the only one that's feeling this economy. People are more wise with how they spend their money. There are thousands of businesses that they can go and seek help from and work with. And so I am pivoting, right? I am creating solutions that are more affordable to my ideal clients, right? Where I can still help them and it's not breaking their pocket so much. So I am pivoting. Business is great, but I am learning the power in the pivot.
So y'all see automatically why they were asked to be on this panelist. It's the fact that automatically she said, I'm going to be transparent. I'm going to be honest. And hey, here's what's happening. I also want you guys to pay attention to the fact that she knows what's going on with her economy. I won't write that down. I hope you brought pen and paper because you did not come to a small business roundtable without some pen and paper for you to take some notes. She knows what's going on with her economy, and she knows that right now, and I love this part, people are picking and choosing what they want to spend their money on. And that right there is powerful, because if you are rude to me, if I don't feel like you got my best interests at heart, if I feel like it's only about money to you, I'm in the business of building relationships. And so I tell people I get to pick and choose who I give my hard-earned coins to. I earned these coins, and I want to give my money to people who understand and value relationships and business. And so the fact that she is looking for affordable options for her clientele and her customers, man, that is smart as a business owner. Now, before we have Coach Arnisha Johnson answer, I want y'all to see what our poll, can y'all see what this poll looks like? It literally, not one person put great, and a couple people didn't even answer. Everybody so far, 100% of our audience right now said not so great. And I made it very simple. I made it very simple so that y'all didn't have 100 options to choose from. Either it's okay right now, or it's just not so great. And I want y'all to understand you're not by yourself. You're not alone. 100% of the audience that answered said, you got a chair for me to sit on? Because we got something to talk about. Do you got a chair in the corner for me to sit on? Because I don't mind talking to you. Coach Johnson, you are up next. Talk about it.
Okay, so I love the transparency, and I thank you so much, Danielle, for mentioning that, because that's one of my business values is transparency. And so for me, I'm gonna be honest, when I first started in business, I chased the dollar, and it failed me. While it was coming in inconsistently, but it was coming, it failed me because I realized that I was going to continue chasing the dollar, and that would run away the people. And so I had someone tell me, in biblical aspect, but also just in business, you're not in the business of chasing money. You're in the business of chasing people's hearts and changing their hearts and just connecting with them. And so the minute that I changed that mindset going into business of, yay, I got $1,000 invoice, to, yay, I just helped the client. Yay, I just earned the client's trust to be able to help their business grow. It just started flowing. So right now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm on the great side, the greater side, because I have been just strategically ensuring that the way that I go from my sales, potential leads, connections, even on here, I pray that like I get connected with more people, because the dollar is gonna come. It's gonna come with the people when they come. But first, I want to chase the people. I want to chase their hearts, and I want to be able to impact their business. So I'm flowing. I told my husband this morning, I was like, I'm in overflow. Like I've been asking and praying for this position in business, but also as an individual, to be in overflow so that I can be of a blessing. And so it's growing. She is growing. And I'm gonna keep saying she's growing because she's growing. So yeah, that's where I am in business.
I love the fact that you were straight up honest and transparent, saying, when I first started, I was chasing money. Now that should have been one of the poll questions right there. How many of y'all literally for however long have been chasing money? And when I coach people, I always tell people, if you do things right, the money will always come. It always comes. However, as a new business owner, without you having the right mentors or coaches around you, you take off, but you take off in the opposite direction, going the wrong way. Because you chasing money. You see $1 here, you going over here. You see $1 there, you going over there. You see dollars everywhere. I ain't say hundreds, I said dollars. Because it don't matter what the amount is, you're just chasing it. And one of the things about chasing a dollar, and Coach Arnisha Johnson, you could talk about this, you burn yourself out. And you get tired very, very, very quick. That's why my shirt says paid and free. Because at a time I was chasing a dollar and I was booked and busy. And booked and busy, I don't care what nobody say. I mean, you are booked and tired. You are booked and stressed. You are booked and overworked and underpaid. So at what point did you say, I can't keep doing? Did you have somebody whisper in your ear?
I did.
Did you watch all these people and you like, well, how they doing it?
There were several instances in business. So I'm gonna let you guys know. I don't just know Coach Brooks, from just any old place or from Facebook. She's been a mentor of mine. She has coached me as I pivoted in business. And actually, she doesn't know, but when I came to her, I came after I was in the clubhouse room with Grant Cardone, the billionaire, and I got up on stage and I pitched my business, and it was all over the place. He actually cut me off in the middle of my pitch and was like, take my free course. And I was very humble. I was like, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But I sat in the room and listened to other people and realized that I was in the business and I was in position of just casting all my skills. And I'm very skilled in a lot of things. So I just threw out everything. When the person on Facebook or on social media was like, who in business can do this or who does that? It was like me, because I was talented. And again, I was going back to chasing the dollar. I wanted to be able to make money. And I quickly found out, one, that's too much. Two, I fumbled the bag in Clubhouse room. Okay. I fumbled the bag because he was giving out investments and grants pretty much, and I missed it and I got a free course. And so I was like, I gotta go back to my coach. I gotta find a mentor. I gotta get niche specific and figure out how can I set myself up properly so that one, I'm actually specific and specialized in an area that I can go and tell many people, but also help many people. And two, when I step up in a room again with a billionaire like his, with his type of credentials, that I'm prepared. And not only that, but I'm not going to sell myself short because I've come prepared enough to say I'm credible, I'm qualified, and here I am in a very short and condensed time frame. So yeah, I spent a lot of time casting the net and realized I can't keep doing this. I can't serve everyone. I can't just, sell all of my skills. Yeah, they're great. And it's great to be multi-talented. But as you see on this side, I'm a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. And I don't have time to do everything for everyone. I've got to concentrate on my time. And that's why I had to be very specific in the services that I provide to customers.
Now, I don't know about y'all, but shoot, I'm about to be writing down. Hold on, let me start taking some dang on notes, because in just that story, that testimonial, okay, because half of y'all don't know, she just told her business, right? In just that short story, she realized she fumbled the bag. Now, this is off memory, y'all, what I heard her say. She fumbled the bag. She sold herself short. She had to become humble in a crowd full of people. She had the opportunity on stage with somebody that was giving away their money and investments and looking for collaborations and all kind of stuff. And all she got out the deal was a free course, because she got on that stage and she talked about everything to the point. Now, some of y'all might be able to relate to this, but have you ever been cut off before? You messed up. When you have been cut off, you messed up. You know your story was way too long when somebody say, now wait a minute, ma'am, just go take my free course. Literally, y'all, she had an opportunity and she lost it. But the beauty of this whole thing was she learned a lesson and she changed what she was doing. She got help. She changed what she was doing. And now look at her. Look at her now. So if you don't got nothing else from that, it's okay to fail, because failures help you grow. That is what changed the game for her, because if not, she would have still been chasing that dollar. Oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. But it took a multi-millionaire to say, girl, just go take my free course. Then yeah, anything about that resonated with you. Have you fumbled the bag too? Because apparently, some of us entrepreneurs, we just fumbling bags out here.
Absolutely. I fumbled the bag when I didn't have my mindset together. I had the opportunity to work and be mentored by a multimillionaire. And she literally was mentoring me for pennies. And all I had to do was show up for myself, and I stopped, right? Knew what I wanted. I wrote down my goals, but I stopped showing up for myself. But mentally, although I said I wanted something and I desired something, at my core, I didn't believe I deserved it. So
Oh,
yes, I have fumbled the bag.
wow. Now, I know we did this webinar. I wish we would have just did the Zoom, y'all, because it is just crazy with the amount of things that's just being thrown at us right now that we really need to be in the chat talking about why they doing their thing, right? But we can't because we on this webinar thing and all I can see is y'all Q&A. And I don't see anything in the Q&A. So please, if you are in the audience, feel free to your thoughts, put it in the Q&A because it's the only thing that we can see right now. We cannot see a chat. And I'm about to lose my mind because hearing these women talk, I know 100% of y'all understand what they're talking about. Sis, both of them have fumbled the bags. And the thing about Danielle, your story, Danielle, you said, all I had to do, now if you can resonate with this, go ahead and put the number 1 in that Q&A because it's all we can see is that Q&A. But she said, all I had to do was show up. Listen, baby, I don't know how many of y'all done not showed up for yourself, but that is one of the most dangerous things that we can do is just not show up for ourselves, to give up on us, to feel like, because Danielle, I know I heard you say you didn't feel worthy enough. You didn't feel like you deserved that opportunity. And what happens, in case some of y'all have never experienced this before, what happens is you end up embarrassing yourself. You end up messing up opportunities where people will never, ever, ever want to work with you again because they don't take you serious now. Danielle, did you ruin that relationship? Since we having an open and transparent conversation, what happened with that relationship?
I was actually able to salvage it. And I am actually close friends with them now. But as she told me very bluntly and very directly, I'm gonna give you one chance to waste my time. After that, I don't care. You can't pay me to help you. And
Mm,
I respect that. We're friends, but on a business scale, that opportunity is that ship has sailed.
well, I like that. Can y'all put the number 2 in that Q&A if you feel like people only got one chance to waste your time? And I don't know if you was personally talking to me, because as a coach, y'all, that is my biggest pet peeve. Don't waste my time. Don't waste my time. I always tell people the amount of time we spend with other people, we're not doing for ourselves. And so when we so happily say, yes, I will work with you, but you ain't doing your part, now you wasting all our time. And Danielle, you also mentioned, Danielle Allen put this in there too. You also mentioned your mindset. Let me tell y'all, I don't know about y'all, but in order to cross that line to success, you have to change your mindset. I was in a session today and the lady spent the first 30 minutes complaining and talking about how nothing was working, and she tried all this stuff and all that. And I mean, it was just going. And not one time did I hear anything positive. Not one time did I hear anything about, hey, this did not work, but now I'm gonna try this. Or moving forward, I'm gonna do this. Or plan B and C and D is this. So after about 45 minutes, I said, listen, you got 2 options. You're gonna either give up or you're gonna keep going. It ain't no in between, y'all, with life and business. You either gonna give up or you gonna keep going. At this point, when you've been beat up so bad, you ain't got no choice but to keep going. You don't got no other choice. So if I try something 50 times, I'm gonna try it 50 more times. Because the only other option I have is to keep going. I'm not gonna continue to beat myself up. Coach Arnisha Johnson, can you talk about, as a business owner, how much you beat yourself up and how you even got over that?
Ooh, listen, a lot of times I can, be open and honest with you guys. Just recently I had to deal with a client mitigation in which I had to issue a refund. And when you get that negative feed, mm,
Time out,
mm,
flag on the play.
mm.
The way you worded that, can you say it one more time for the entrepreneurs in the back that didn't even understand what you said? Because you kind of like slid that in there like everybody.
I had to deal with a client mitigation. I had a situation in which a client was not pleased with the services that I provided. And they provided feedback and they requested a refund. And even though, we have that initial, wherever you from, I'm from Duval County. So that initial 904 settled in, and I was like, the nerve of these folks. I said, but you know what? Nope, because here's the thing. We're not going to look at it as a problem. We're going to look at it as how can we offer a solution? And not only that, but the way that we go about this interaction, we have to make sure that it is going to help grow us in the long run. So I praise them for their feedback. I thank them because constructive feedback and criticism is imperative to grow in business. And then I issued them a refund, even though I knew I could spell out, I could write you a whole list of all the valuable things I gave to them, which was well worth more the investment. I owed it to them because in reality, I had to fess up that, yeah, part of the feedback that they gave, I can 100% tell you, you're right. I did fumble in that part. I did mess up. I did, in this case, did not deliver what I needed to you effectively and at your standards. So yes, I am going to give you something back because you earned that. You earned that responsibility of me, and I had to take that. And so when I look at things like that in business, and not just in that particular case, but when I look at problems in my business, I don't approach it with a complaining mindset. I don't approach it with, oh man, this is going on. Like, yeah, it'll settle in a little bit because we're human, we're flesh, we have those initial emotions. But as a business owner, I've created a mindset where it's not just growth, it's solution mindset. And that's what I dropped in the chat. I got to be thinking, you mentioned this, Coach Brooks, that when we deal with situations, when we encounter problems, we're always thinking about, okay, we're going to try this 50 more times. I ain't gonna try the same thing 50 more times. I'm gonna look at other solutions. What else is out there? What else do I need to learn? What else, what other resources are out there? Who can I talk to? I'm very much, I have to fix this because the next time that I try it, it's got to work. And what I tried before 50 times that wasn't yielding the success I wanted to see or desired to have, it's not working. So I'm not going to keep spinning my wheels and going insane trying the same things that didn't work before. I'm going to approach it different. And even if this is a new situation, I'm going to look at it different because everything that I do, every decision that I make, every approach that I take, every interaction and relationship that I build is going to impact me, not just tomorrow or 10 days later, but 5 years later into the future. So I make sure that the things, the mindset that I have when I go into situations are solutional mindsets. Is this going to help me grow? Can I address that this is a growth moment and I'm learning from that? Am I humble in these situations? So yeah, carrying that solution mindset is what's driving these problems to just being small. They're problems, but I can fix that because I got a solution. If I don't know what it is, I'm about to go figure it out.
See how professional she is? She said, a solution mindset. I hope y'all wrote that down because there's a lot of us lacking a solution mindset. But wait, she opened up a can of worms. And I don't know if on this platform we can talk about it, but we're going to talk about it because I ain't never been told something is off limits. But the fact that she said the client was not satisfied and the client wanted a refund. And some of the feedback that was given to her, she agreed to, but the value that that client got was just, more than she can ever ask or want or need, right? But here's the problem, and we're going to talk about this. COVID messed up a lot of things. And one of the things that COVID really jacked up was people's expectations. And what has happened now is, depending on who your clientele is, they are coming in the door saying, you might do 10 things for me, but if you didn't do this one thing for me, I want my money back. And the problem with this is you got good, hardworking women that is out here busting our butts for our clients. that these people already done made up in their mind because Tim, Lucy, Susan, and Kim done all scammed me. You gonna be considered a scammer too now, unless you give me my money back, although I know you've helped me in ways, but may not have been that one way that I really, 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 really wanted you to help me. And the problem with this whole thing is that not only are clients on edge, but people like us are on edge now too. Which is why a long time ago, I decided you can't just go on my website and order my services. I am going to now pick and choose who I want to work with. Because what you're not going to do is stress me out and have me over here crying, trying to figure out what I done did wrong, when in all actuality, you were going to ask for your money back anyways. Because in all actuality, you might not have had the money to give me in the first place. And so it's sad because you know you went over and above, and there was some things you could have worked on, but y'all, nothing is perfect. But a lot of people expectations are so crazy now, especially in your field as a grant writer. People assume that you owe them a grant, an award. You have no control over if that grantor awards them or not, because there's so many other pieces that go into you being selected as the grantee. It's so many things they're looking at. They're not just looking at the awesome things that was written. There's some follow-up work behind it as well that a lot of people don't understand. So no, you don't have the superpower of just awarding them a grant, which is why I stopped doing grant writing services, because COVID has messed things up. And it don't matter if I pay you $1 or if I pay you $5,000. And it don't matter if your contract says nothing is guaranteed. If you don't give me a grant, I want my money back. Because mentally, we have messed ourselves up as customers, as business owners, as clients, as human beings. Like, y'all, it is so Danielle, I see it all over your face. What can you add to this? Because I could just see it.
We need a collection plate for you. So what you just said about COVID messing up people's expectations, not only because we're consumers too, right? People want perfection, or like you said, and I don't know, if I stop me if you need to. But people have started with COVID. Scammers did come. So I can show you whatever I want to show you on social. People begin to believe it. They begin to buy into your lifestyle, and you don't know what you say you know. So now you have the audacity to put up a link, take people's money, and don't deliver the service. Now the real people that are the experts, now we have to like go through an interview process to even show you that we know what we know. And when we work with you and you don't get everything from point A to point Z perfect, now we're scammers. Now you want your money back. And now you as the business owner, you're like, but I did this and I went above and beyond, and you're trying to rationalize it in your mind. But our expectations as consumers has changed because people weren't properly vetting people. They were just listening to social media or where people told them that they know versus seeing receipts. Success leaves clues. If I am doing this in this industry and I've helped other people, that's going to be on I can show you that. You can hear it out of their mouth. You can see their words. But now, yeah, the business world is very different. And like you said, as business owners, we have the luxury of picking who we want to work with. You don't have to take everybody's dollar. If it's going to cost you your piece, it's not worth it. I absolutely want to help people, but sometimes I do interviews with my clients now because I want to give you the rundown. This is how this process is going to work. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you feel like I am not a good fit for you and you're not a good fit for me, I have given money back. I've given deposits back because I'm like, I don't think you're ready right now. And I've had clients come back later when they were ready and we've been able to work together. But being okay and saying, you know what, I'm probably not the person for you. or telling your customer or potential customer, you know what, I don't think you're ready to work with me right now or ready for my program. Maybe work on these things and we can reconnect, or I can follow up. But as business owner, I think that's a valuable lesson to know that you don't have to take on everybody as your customer, or you at least not right now. If they're not a good fit for you and they're going to cost you your piece, just, don't do it. It's not worth it.
So our audience is a little mixed. We got 60% says yes, COVID has changed their business, and 40% says no. COVID has not changed their business. Either way, as a business owner, it is very important for you to understand what's going on, what is happening right now, how other business owners are handling these type of situations, and that you're not alone. Because I'm sure Ernie's probably thought like, I'm the only one giving money back. You're not. You're not. There are people just right now. It's a tough time for businesses. It's a tough time for customers, and so it's a tough time for clients. And so just being well educated and understanding what's going on in the economy, it helps you provide better solutions. And she did a very good job at providing a solution for herself, and for the customer, because giving people their money back, it is a big deal. Okay. There have been times where I know I deserve my money back, but I'm that type of person. And I don't know about y'all. This is a good question. I don't know about y'all, but as a business owner and as a consumer, I just handle situations a little bit different now. I'm not out here, especially small businesses, saying, hey, give my money back. Give my money back. Just give my money back. I'm not doing that, because I understand what happens on the backside of it when a small business have to give you some money back, which a lot of people don't understand this. This is why small businesses go so hard. This is why we go over and above, because those dreadful words of, can I get a refund? Sometimes can be detrimental to a small business. And so people don't understand that. But as a business owner and a consumer myself, I kind of don't even want to cross those lines. Even if a person didn't do what they were supposed to do, I don't even hold that against them, because I realize, because I've been on both sides of it, and I've realized that you got to really understand, really understand what happens on both sides of it for you to walk away without you holding feelings, holding grudges against people, being mad at somebody, or, trying to just tear them down. Like, sometimes I just say, it's not worth it. It's just, them people gonna learn, if they did it to me, they probably did it for other people. And eventually small businesses have to learn. But me asking for my money back, I've never, ever had to do that. I've never done it, because I know what it does on the other side of it. And so that's just me. I'm just a little bit different from other people, only because I've experienced both sides of it. So let's dive a little deeper, because we did talk about COVID actually changing things. And some people are doing good, some people are not. Some people say COVID's not changed them. Some people say COVID has changed them. A lot of us have had to pivot. And when I say us, I include myself in that, because I had to pivot. Y'all know I just got a commercial space. I decided to go into real estate, because I said, if COVID ain't teaching me nothing else, COVID taught me people got to always have a place to stay. They all the time I live, I always say, as long as my mama got a house, I got somewhere to go. I ain't gonna ever be homeless. As long as my mama and my daddy got a house, I will never be homeless. And so real estate is something that, if you think about all your life, you always had somewhere to stay. It don't matter if it was a shelter. It doesn't matter if it's a friend's or family house, or your parent. You always got somewhere to stay. So I pivoted into real estate. Now, since we having an honest conversation, I'm going to tell y'all, I said I wanted to rely less on people. And when I say people, I am referring to coaching, mentoring, and people, humans, picking and choosing if they want to pay me or use my services, to an arena that you gonna always need me. When I did my calendar for the year, There's never not a holiday, y'all. There's never not something people are celebrating, whether it's birthdays or it's weddings or it's holidays or it's a season. There is never not a time that people aren't celebrating. So I chose to pivot to rely less on people and more on things that it don't matter if we got the money or not, we gonna do. Now our poll shows 88% of our audience that participated had to pivot. 13% said no, I didn't have to pivot. I know, Danielle, you talked about your pivot. Do you kind of feel like I feel like, what made you actually say, I just have to pivot? I don't have a choice.
Honestly, in my business, I was very service heavy. Service meaning I got to perform some type of service. And God set me down. It was like, no, ma'am. So for me, I was like, okay, I got to make some changes to not be so service heavy, or, to build a team. So if I am providing services, I am not being overwhelmed and burnt out in my business, in this business that I built. So that was one of the things. But also, yes, looking at the economy, wanting, like you said, building those relationships with your audience and people that follow you and people that engage with you, and just listening to them, right? Yes, I recognize the economy. I see the changes that are happening, and I see people that want to work with me, but they can't afford it. So how can I provide some type of solution where they can still work with me, and we can stay connected throughout their journey? That is not going to put them in a situation where, am I going to pay Danielle? I'm going to pay a bill, because I always tell people, I don't want you to make that decision, a decision like that, to work with me. Like, pay your bill. We're going to figure something else out. So for me, that was where the pivot had to be. And also praying and being obedient. When God tell me, like, okay, let's scrap all of this, let's work on this, right? Get closer with my audience and the people that want to work with me, because again, as I don't know if I said it already, they can work with anybody, but they're choosing to work with you. So how is it that you can show up and still serve them?
Yep. And Arnisha, you mentioned recession-proof business. Can you talk about it? Because that is a big deal.
Yes. So, well, when I first started my business, I started actually in the heart of COVID. So immediately I was just, like I mentioned before, just casting out skills. But then when I came back and I partnered up with Coach Brooks, I was like, okay, I need to just outline all the skills that I have. And she actually pinpointed one that I didn't even think about. She was like, wait, you do grant writing? Like, that's funding. And I was like, oh, okay. And I wasn't connecting the dots really well, but she was like, businesses are going to always need funding. And I was like, there it is. You know what I'm saying? That's the industry I need to be in, because I don't just have to cast the skills out, or I'm a one and done kind of service where, okay, I use Arnisha, she was great, I worked with her, and now I'm done. It's like, I'm going to be able to be with you for the long haul, for as long as we are tied together to obtain the goals, the funding goals of your business, wherever you are, startup, you in the middle, you 30 years in and you're ready for the big leagues. There's multiple ways of getting funding, but I'm in the industry where, regardless of what happens with COVID, with a pandemic, with anything, with a recession, there's going to be money flowing. And when it flows our way to small businesses, call your girl. I'm here. I'm here to help you connect those dots so that you can continue your business through the recession. And I too become successful, because that's a part of my business model. Now I
Yes.
want to fast forward, because now we're in a generation, and now we're in an era where a lot of AI is coming out, and a lot of things are pivoting, and changing and shifting in businesses, where AI is taking over these things. And it's like, okay, that's another challenge that's coming in. That's essentially another COVID, if you think about it. This new system is wiping out a lot of things that we were so used to. So in my business model, I'm like, okay, how can I adopt that into what I'm doing so that it's not going to take away the work that I'm doing or the special sauce that I bring or my unique selling proposition. It's going to actually enhance the work that I'm doing so I can be more efficient, so I can be more effective, and so I can meet more people. So as we, as we look at the things that are coming our way, whether it's COVID, whether it's AI, whether, it's the next thing, whatever that is, good or bad, is building a model that's adaptable to those changes, or that pivots in a way that allows you to free up your time, free up your space, grow your team, be more successful, meet more people, get more clients, and not have to be worrisome, not have to, dissolve your business, not have to be burnt out. So there's been a lot of moments where, those are big ones, but there's even been little ones where I'm like, okay, that's not working. I need to change something. That doesn't look good, whether it's branding, I need to rebrand. That doesn't sound great. I need to change it up a little bit so I can make sure I sound better. So yeah, it's been a journey. But those two, COVID and AI, I'm like, my business is she withstanding this. Okay, she's taking on, she's adapting, she's doing a thing in the midst of this. Like, what else is coming? Bring it.
I love the fact that, again, y'all, your mindset, because you saw a lot of people online going crazy about AI. Oh, AI gonna put you in jail, and I ain't seen nobody go to jail yet. Oh, AI, is dangerous, it's gonna take out a lot of jobs. I agree, it will take out a lot of jobs, but it's all based on how you look at it. She said I had to adapt it, change my business model, and go with the flow. Is what did I say? We got two options: you give up or you keep going. She had no choice but to keep going, but she decided to leverage the same tools that all of us have to make it work for her business. And the thing about it is, even attorneys, they're using AI. Everybody is using AI. So you either have to learn or just go ahead on and give up right now, because it ain't gonna work for you. And I always try to tell people, wealth is generated by speed. All of us that decided to jump on the bandwagon, it changed the game for us. It took us to another level. A lot of people chose to use their time complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I complaining? This is something that's not going anywhere. Most people spend their time trying to convince other people not to use it. And that's why your circle matters. Because y'all think about it. If you constantly have people in your ear telling you, don't do it, it's bad, don't do it, it's gonna get you going to jail, don't do it, then automatically you're like, okay, I ain't gonna do it, because everybody around me is telling me not to do it. But then when you have people in your circle saying, hey, we need to adapt, we ain't got no choice. How's it working over there for you? Here's what I done learned. Let's share our resources. Let's share what to do and what not to do. But it ain't constant negative pouring into your ear, which is always going to have you doing like this because you don't know which way to turn, and you're just going all over the place because you have no reasonable voice in your ear. It's just like having the angel and the devil on your shoulders. You're just going left and right trying to figure out who to listen to. That's why it's important to pick and choose who you have in your circle, because while everybody else talking about don't do it, you're going to jail, I'm telling my mentees, you practice yet? That's what you better be out there doing, is practicing with it, because it ain't going anywhere. And the thing about it is, it's moving so quickly. It went from a free platform to now you got to pay if you want to now, I think within those 90 days, I learned more about robots than I ever learned in my life by anything. I mean, there's a robot for everything. I couldn't believe how many robots are there, robots to help with your social media. And y'all want to know something? Let's talk about this. Y'all realize all the people we look up to was already using this crap. We just didn't know what it was. Do y'all realize that those funnels that everybody was doing, they was doing all of that stuff. Yeah. We just didn't have a clue what they were out there doing. And so when it broke the fan, guess who business it changed to? Theirs. Because they had that stuff right there in their fingertips that none of us regular people even knew about. And there is literally a robot for everything. I mean, I know you have no business saying you can't do something because there's a robot out there. One of my girls just got monetized on YouTube, and she do the no face videos. I said, ma'am, I didn't even even know how to do that. No, she got the robot over there. Her money off of YouTube, and she never shows her face or her voice. I said, you're sitting on something, right? Because there's people like me that's monetized on YouTube, but I always got to show my face. Nobody taught me the trick of how you ain't got to do none of that. That's how quick it's changing, y'all. That's how quick it's changing. And I love the fact that, Arnisha, you talked about technology and tools, right? Can y'all talk about some of the, and Coach Arnisha, we'll start with you. Can you talk about some of the tools that you have in place right now to help business run smoother for you?
Oh, y'all, if you are not using Chat GPT and Bard, you are missing out. Okay, listen.
All right.
Bard. So Bard is a Google one, and I'm gonna put it in the chat for us so we can spell it. But it's BARD .google.com. It's also free as well. Very, very similar to Chat GPT. And so the way that I've used them, if you're interested in getting into grants, and let's say, you could spend all day long Googling grants for minorities or grants for my business, that's great. But what you're going to find is you're going to find a lot of stuff that's outdated. You're going to find stuff that is fake. You're going to find, stuff that's going to lead you down a rabbit hole, and you're not understanding where you need to be. And so when you get on Bard or when you use ChatGPT and you ask, what grants are there for technology businesses in Florida, you're going to get a list. And that's one of the ways that I'm like, that's a quick, easy solution to navigating and finding, starting off grants. So when I'm in the midst of research and development, that's a great place for me to start. Now, obviously, as a writer, I'm paying for a paid service, but if you're starting out, that's a great resource. And then Chat GPT, I absolutely love, because even though as a writer, I can pull my thesaurus, I have Grammarly pulled up, I have all of these other resources to help me refine my writing. But Chat GPT, I can take that, and let's say I'm writing a grant for one of my clients. I'm not them. They may speak in a tone that I don't speak in. And so what I can do is I can take this crafted statement that I've created, or this crafted narrative that I've created for them, and I can say, hey, Chat GPT, take this blurb in quotes and change it in this set of tone, and it's going to do that for me, and I don't have to use that thinking space and that thinking time to do it. Now, obviously, it's not perfect. It's an AI model. It's built from humans. There are going to be some error. So I still run it back through and make sure that, grammatical errors are checked. There's no plagiarism, because listen, in order for an algorithm to output something, it needs input. So sometimes that input could be plagiarized or copyrighted from a tangible source or an original source. So you have to be cautious. But I take that, I still manipulate it a little bit, make it sound like the way and the flow in which I want it to flow. But it does the hard work for me. I don't have to think about using a thesaurus as much, or using a dictionary as much, or even, hey, does this sound great? I could read it 50,000 times and I might change one or two things, but I spit it through Chat GPT and I'm like, hey, take this and just finesse that real quick. Let me see how you take what I've created and craft it in a compelling way. Ooh, I like how you said this line, or ooh, I like this. So those two, bard.google.com and ChatGPT, have been just two amongst many different types of technology that I've incorporated in my business model that's helped me save even more time, help me save money, and help me save thinking space. So, those are just two. I'm like, I'm not even getting paid for these affiliations, but y'all, listen, put those two on your bookmark.
I know we had Jay in the audience, but I love how you said save thinking space. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I don't know about y'all, but as an entrepreneur, sometimes my brain is so cluttered with everything we got going on. Employees, trying to figure out what my next move is gonna be, trying to keep up with the stuff I have, that I have no thinking space left. I know what I'm trying to say. I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but ain't nothing in my mind working the way it's supposed to be working, because I just got so much going on that I can't think. So I love how you said save thinking space, and I hope and wish more entrepreneurs start thinking like that, of saving our thinking space because we are so limited on the things that we can do. Now, what's so cool is that Arnisha is a writer. She was one of the original writers on my team, y'all. And Jay in the audience is a writer. And it's all about your choice of words. And the reason why I had her a part of my team is because her choice of words are just everything. Now, when you just said the tone, I'm gonna tell you a true story. I think it was Friday, and I told little silly Chat GPT to rewrite something, and I said, make sure you stay in my tone. Now, y'all want to be humbled by these technologies. I'm gonna tell y'all what stupid Chat GPT did to me. I said, stay in this tone and rewrite this, right? Chat GPT took my message and said, thank you so much for being so great, because y'all know it starts everything off with thank you so much, right? Then Chat GPT, with its little slow behind, gonna say, this was a possum idea. Y'all, then it started barking in the message. So everything was a bark, bark, or a paw or something. And I said, what are you trying to say? Okay. Because everything that I do is with so much like animation, y'all. They turn me into a dog. I ain't like it, okay? And I'm gonna write Chat GPT owners and let them know I am not a dog. I'm not barking at my customers. The stupid thing said bark, bark, bark. This was a possum, P-A-W, y'all. This was a possum idea. You know what? I said a couple cuss words, but I can't say that on here. But y'all, don't be careful when you say write it in my tone, because it obviously assumed that I was a dog, okay? And I didn't like that. I thought it was being funny.
You used the pun.
Child.
So it was being funny.
Right. I was like, what the I had to keep reading it, because I said every reference, y'all, was regarding the dog. And I'm like, it says something about my tail is wagging. What? I am not a dog. Bark, bark, bark. Just, you know what? Just throw the whole thing out. Don't worry about my tone no more. Danielle, what are some of the technologies or like your must-have to help you save some thinking space or save some time or some money in your business?
Having a team, executive assistant, virtual assistants, Chat GPT, because the way my mind works is going and going and going, and I'll start typing and I'll look back at it. I'm like, that don't make no sense. Danielle, like, what are you trying to write? So yes, Chat GPT, anything that can help me automate stuff. So if you send a message or an email and you can automatically get a message right back, like anything that is going to help, like Zapier is it's a system that allows different systems to talk. So if this one, someone sends an email, it can direct this system to send them a message back or send us and also notify us. So things that like ChatGPT, Zapier, having systems, right? So like Dubsado is a client management system I can use where they can communicate with me and I can communicate with them, and we taking it off email. Email and a text list. Like I have my community, like you guys, I have a community that I send out stuff to every single week. So things like that help make my business run a little bit easier and smoother, but definitely having a team, like delegating to other people.
And it's hard. I always tell people I was a horrible boss. I didn't know what being, how in corporate America, you always say, if I was a CEO, I would do X, Y, and Z. And then I become the CEO and I ain't doing nothing that I said I would have done back then. And now I'm doing things worse than the people I was working for back then. And it's scary because when you do build a team, you got to be able to trust people. I don't trust nobody. You got to be able to rely on people. You ain't gonna, in my mind, you're not gonna do it as good as I would have done it. And then you always, always, always have to change your mindset, because we convince ourselves that nobody in this earth is gonna treat our baby the way that we treat our baby. And on the flip side of that, it's bad for us to expect somebody to treat our baby the way that we treat our baby, because they don't get the coins that we get from running our own companies. And so it's hard because we expect so much from people. And as small business owners, we don't really give real good job descriptions. And then we turn into corporate America where we give you a job description, but then we have you doing everything outside of that job description. And so whoever lied out there and said that, having a team is the most funnest thing or easiest, I need classes and training every month of how to be a good boss, of how to be a good coworker, of how to be a good and a nice person. Because I remember the days when my boss didn't want to talk to me. And I used to feel like, well, dang. And now that's me sometimes. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone so I can clear some of my space. But I don't know how to professionally say that. And so it's hard having a team, running a team. Like, I feel like I always tell my mentees, even with running a business, you absolutely have to do personal development and you absolutely have to do business development. Those are two things that if you really want your business to grow, you have to invest money and time into. Because when you think of the good leaders out there, I ain't talking about the political leaders. I'm talking about the good, real good leaders out there. They constantly spend time on personal development and business development. And sometimes we be so head deep in it that we skip those. But to be honest with y'all, I've become a better person the more I develop myself and the more I develop the business. So we are getting ready to wrap things up. I just have to thank y'all because y'all both came in the door transparent, honest, authentic, and open. Did y'all realize how open? Y'all just gave it to these people. Y'all ain't hold nothing back. We talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and yet we remain professional and a panel of women. Now one cuss word slipped. And it almost, when I was talking about Chat GPT and they called me a dog, it almost happened, but not one cuss word slipped. So before we call it a night, we're going to start with Daniela. Daniela, is there anything you want to leave to the small business owners? Any advice you want to give them? Any motivation you want to give them? We are going into a new month tomorrow. We start a brand new month. And so I love new months. I feel like it's a new start. It's a new baby. It's just new everything, new ideas, new time clock, anything you want to leave the people with.
Absolutely. I have said this before and I'll say it here. In business, you have to get out of your way and get in your purpose. A lot of times we talk ourselves out of things, talk ourselves out of ideas. God has given us the vision. It ain't your job for you to figure out how God is going to get you to that place. All you have to do is have the faith, walk in your purpose, take action, and God is going to do the rest. Stop worrying about what you think you can't do, how you ain't got the money, how you ain't got the team. God ain't asked you all that. God dropped the vision on your heart and then your mind and then your spirit. Do that. And when you're acting the opposite of that, when you're not doing it, you're being selfish, right? And you're not showing up to serve somebody that is in their bed at night, hoping and wishing and waiting on you to show up and do the thing that God told you to do.
Yes. And can I share, I want to share with y'all that Danielle was one of the first people in a long time recently that I know that shared she hit a $70,000 day. Is that right? She hit a $70,000 day, y'all. And so when y'all are in the rooms with people like this, just know that these aren't people that are just telling y'all anything. These are people that are literally walking the walk, sharing the good, bad, the ugly, transparent, authentic. And they just want to show people that it's possible. It's hard, but it's possible. So when y'all hear her saying, get out your own way, when y'all hear her saying, build yourself a team, when y'all hear her saying, pivot, she's speaking from experience. Because she didn't hit a 70,000 day by doing what she was doing 5 years ago. Remember, this is the same person that didn't show up for herself. And when she got her mindset together and she got to act right, she hit a $70,000 day recently. post-pandemic. And we already talked about people picking and choosing what they want to spend their money in, and they chose her. So just keep in mind when you're surrounded by people like this, God put you in this space and these reasons in these areas for a reason. You didn't coincidentally show up tonight just because you had the free time. Because y'all know there is no such thing as free time. You chose to show up tonight. You made a decision to be in the space. So you're not just in the space with regular people. Coach Arnisha Johnson, any words of encouragement, motivation, anything you can leave the good people with? And I'm gonna share a piece of your business too.
Okay, yes. So before I share, I just want to thank you all so much. I'm tuning in the question and answer. We've got people from California, from Louisiana, from Georgia, all different time zones, and you are here. And so you are here for a reason. Don't question that reason. I'm so glad you guys are, that have stuck it with us for this hour. What I want to leave you with, which actually just piggybacks off of or amplifies off of what Danielle has mentioned, and that is when you know your purpose, when you're in it, when you're walking through these challenges, these triumphs, these tribulations, remember that you were called to be here and be intentional in everything that you do, from the way that you serve, from the way that you represent your brand, from the way that you go about your goals, from the interpersonal relationships you build. Be intentional. From the networking spaces that you are in, be intentional. And in order to do that, you have to have that solution mindset, because once you start to walk into your purpose, once you're walking in your purpose, and again, when you hit those trials and tribulations, those triumphs, those ups, those downs, good or bad days, $70,000 days, $0 months, you have to be intentional and be solutional mindset to walk in your purpose in fullness. And so I am so grateful to be here with you, and to be on this panel. And I thank you for all the gems that I received, as well as a wonderful conversation.
Yes, and just to tell a little bit of her business, because one thing about it, y'all, and a lot of y'all don't realize this, people research you. People go down your timeline, people Google you, people look at your reviews. And so when she say be intentional, make sure as a business owner, you are utilizing these social media sites intentionally. And so one of the things that Arnisha Johnson posted was that she won her first federal grant. And so again, when I tell y'all, and if you don't know, federal grants are hard. They come with compliance, but sometimes they come with a lot of money. And so it is very important for you to be in this. And Arnisha, you said it, good conversation. I can bet 5 cents, not a lot of money, okay? I'm a small business owner. I can bet 5 cents that somebody needed to be in this room, because nothing else on the outside is working. And so somebody needed just some good conversation. Somebody needed to hear somebody else tell a business so you could know you are not alone. Somebody needed to know that business just not going good right now, not just for me, but for the other 5 people that voted the same thing I voted. And so it is important for y'all, as Danielle said, show up for yourself. I saw somebody in the Q&A said this was the second time they heard that message that Danielle said. That ain't no coincidence. So when Arnisha say be intentional, every move that you make in the month of August needs to be with intent. You ain't just doing what you've been doing. You ain't just doing something because somebody told you to do it. You're doing it because that's what makes sense. That you're doing it for a reason. You know the reason behind it. You know that cause and effect. If I do this, this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. For example, if you do nothing, nothing happens. If you do not show up, like Danielle did at one point, nothing happens. Except people tell you, I'm not going to waste my time with you. Get it together. That's all that happens. And so, ladies, thank y'all for saying yes. Thank y'all for showing up. Because as y'all see, one of our people did not show up. Thank y'all for being so authentic. Thank y'all for being transparent. Thank y'all for being honest. And thank y'all for sharing. I want y'all to also realize that the minute I asked them for resources, what's working for them, it rolled off their tongues. It was a not pay me $9.97 for me to tell you what's working for me. Because you can genuinely tell these ladies are not doing this for the money. They're doing it for the passion. And that's why showing up for y'all and showing up for themselves, it matters. So once again, thank y'all so much for showing up to SCORE, our first roundtable of the month of July. We are going to continue having roundtables with real entrepreneurs, real life people sharing real life stories. Okay. And so stay tuned, y'all. If you do not have a SCORE mentor, please get yourself a SCORE mentor. They are free. The number one or the oldest resource partner that the SBA have. And so we kind of know what we're doing a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Everybody have a phenomenal night. And I did take attendance, so you are going to get a survey. And ladies, you guys have a very successful entrepreneur journey. And I look forward to seeing what the rest of this year looks like for you, okay? Bye.
Thank you
Good
so
night.
much.
Thank
Good night,
you.
everyone.